And welcome, viewers. We're coming to you live from Irvine for this CCL, California Collegiate League matchup between the Orange County Riptide and the visiting Arroyo Seco Saints. Action has just begun here as Anthony Forte steps up to the plate, taking that first pitch for a strike. But entering this game, the Riptide are sitting second amongst the CCL standings, while the Saints are fourth, just a game back behind the San Luis Obispo Blues. And the Saints need to get to that at least third seed in order to make the CCL playoffs. So they'll be looking to get a win here to inch closer to that playoff berth. The count currently to Anthony Forte is 1-2.
And that's why it makes this game such a big game for them, where they have to win because they're trying to catch up on the San Luis Obispo Blues, but they're also trying to catch up to the OC Riptide.
As a swing and a miss by Forte, and he's down, swinging for the first out here in the top of the first. Just a little introduction. I'm Jack Steele, and my partner for today is Cole Stevens. And it's a beautiful day here in Irvine, clear skies, perfect baseball weather here. Stepping up to the plate for the Saints will be Thomas Luvano, as he swings at that first pitch, fouled back to the backstop. Starting lineup for the Saints today, leading off was Anthony Forte, who is in right field. Batting second and up to bat right now is Thomas Luvano. He'll be at second base. In the three hole is Drew Cowley. Batting fourth and cleanup for the Saints is the designated hitter Andy Garriola, as Luvano takes that pitch high for ball 1-1. Batting fifth is the first baseman Pete Durkee. Sixth, third baseman Jason Gonzalez. 7, Evan Russell, as Thomas Luvano swings and misses at that pitch. 1-2 the count. Batting seventh, Evan Russell. Batting eighth, Thomas McCarthy, who will be behind the plate. And finishing things out for the Saints will be Christian Scott. The 1-2 pitch on its way, swung on, and a blooper into center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit for Luvano. And we got one on here with one out.
And that was just a good piece of hitting right there, where it was kind of too close to him, so he just tried to get as much as he could of the bat, and he got like the middle portion of the bat where I was able to jam it, and it was enough strength to get it into center field.
So the Saints get a one-out base hit by Luvano, and coming up to the plate now will be the shortstop, Drew Cowley. Pickoff play, but that gets past the first baseman, and Luvano's going to go off to second, and rounding second, headed to third is Luvano, and he's going to get into third safely. So a mistake by the Riptide, and a man on first is now a man on third here with one out.
And right there, you really just want to have a nice, easy throw. I mean, it's the first pickoff attempt, and he just throws it a little too wildly, and it goes right past his first baseman. And now instead of a guy just being on first in position, you have a guy on third with only one out.
And Saints are in position here for a sac fly, as Drew Cowley fouls that one back. Down for the Riptide is Tyler Booth. The second pitch from Booth to Cowley is in there for a strike. 0-2. So Cowley in a bit of a hole here at 0-2. An 0-2 pitch is hit on to right center. That's going to land for a base hit, and Luvano will score easily. So Drew Cowley gets a base hit on an 0-2 count and drives in the first run of the ball game for the Saints.
And right there, he didn't try to do too much. He just went with the pitch and was able to get good contact on that and drive that into the outfield. And we also want to just apologize for the angle. We had to do this for the last time we were here at Great Park in Irvine. We're not allowed to be down behind the plate anymore just because the table we're at is too big that it's a fire hazard that you can't walk through.
As Garriola grounds to second, they got the force play at second. The throw from second base to first was a bit off, but the first baseman, Andre Antone, is able to snag it and tag Garriola before reaching first base. So that'll be the final 2 outs here in the top of the first. So the Saints pick up 2 hits and 1 run, and they lead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We're here live in Irvine, headed to the bottom of the first here, as the Saints are taking on the Orange County Riptide. On the mound today for the Saints will be Hayden Harris out of Georgia Southern, and leading things off for the Riptide at the plate will be their center fielder Michael Peabody, as he takes that first pitch for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Harris is swung on, fouled up towards the third base line, but out of play. Out towards the third base dugout. So it'll be 1-1 to Michael Peabody. The 1-1 pitch from Harris swung on and hit to left field. Going back for it is Evan Russell, and just unable to come up with that catch. And Peabody rounding second, headed to third, diving head first to third, and he's in there safely. And I'm not sure if that's going to count as an error, but that was kind of a tough catch there for Evan Russell to make.
Yeah, he was kind of running back. He was kind of running back not too hard, like it was pretty close. But I think he probably just lost the ball because when he reached back, he was reaching back above his head type of deal. But he it was too far and it was out of his reach. So I think it was probably more just a good piece of hitting. But it's kind of a cheap triple because it was a misplayed ball. So that's the one thing where you never know if that's an error on him or not.
And stepping to the plate now for the Riptide is their catcher, Connor Aoki, as he swings at that first pitch and fouls it back 0-1. But the sun is definitely out here, and it may have had an impact on Russell trying to make that catch. But that 0-1 pitch misses for a ball, 1-1. The defensive alignment for the Saints today, as that ball is hit out of play in right field for a foul ball. That'll take the count to 1-2. But the defensive alignment at first base, Pete Durkee. Second base, Thomas Uvano. Shortstop, Drew Cowley. Third base, Jason Gonzalez. On the mound, like I mentioned earlier, is Hayden Harris. And behind the plate is Thomas McCarthy. As that 1-2 pitch is fouled at the exact same location as that previous foul ball. In the outfield, left field is Evan Russell. Center field, Christian Scott. And in right field is Anthony Forte. One-two from Harris, swung on and hit to right field. That's going to land in for a base hit. Michael Peabody will score easily from third. And just like that, we have a tie ball game here at Great Park, a 1-1 game.
And Connor Aoki's been one of their best players. He has the best average on the team with a 333 average and 22 RBIs now, counting that one.
Stepping up to the plate for the Riptide will be their designated hitter, Dylan Rock. First pitch to Rock is low for ball one. No outs here in the bottom of the first. 2 hits, 1 run is scored for the Riptide. The 1-0 pitch from Harris misses low again for ball 2. 2-0 now.
And you know Rock is going to be very selective with what pitches he's going to swing at because he's got this 2-out count, but he's also got a guy in first, so he wants to be careful not to hit anything that's going to be an easy ground ball to any of the infielders.
Two-0 pitch from Harris is swung on, grounded to short. Drew Cowley just unable to come up with it on that hop. So Dylan Rock will reach first safely. And so now we got a man on first and a man on second here with no outs. And I'm unsure if they may have, I'm not sure if they called that an error or not.
It was a pretty tough play where he was having to run in and almost get it right on the lip of the grass. So we'll see if a second error pops up because that could have been for Russell's attempt on the first batter for the Riptide.
Stepping up to the plate for the Riptide is their first baseman, Andre Antone, as he takes that first pitch high for ball one. But Hayden Harris kind of in a little bit of a jam here with 2 on and no outs. Hasn't had much help from the defense thus far. So that 1-0 pitch is popped up high.
And it's almost right above us.
That's going to go foul. So the count will even up now at 1-1. But, man, I thought that ball was coming right at our table.
And that's not a good thing with all the gear we have here.
Yeah.
And Andre Anton kind of has the prototypical approach of what a Major League Baseball player of today has. He has 20 RBIs that he's driven in so far this year, but he only has a 222 average, so he kind of might be one of more of those launch angle guys or a guy who's more focused on home runs nowadays. So it should be interesting to note that he's not like one of their biggest contact hitters and average guys, but he gets the runs in.
I'm sure his batting average with runners in scoring position must be pretty high. And that's a swing and a miss by Antone, and he's down swinging here for the first out here in the bottom of the first. So Hayden Harris able to get the first out of the inning with 2 on, and that's a good first out for the Saints. Not wanting to give up any more damage. Stepping up to the plate for the Riptide is their third baseman, Trey Lipscomb. First pitch is swung on and fouled back. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from Harris to Lipscomb, and it's swung on and hit to center field. Tracking it is Christian Scott, and he'll make the catch for the second out here in the bottom of the first.
And Connor Aoki at second base ran back to second base pretty fast as if he was thinking about tagging up, but the ball wasn't that deep, so he was probably just trying to psych out Scott a little bit, because Scott only had to move like 3 steps back or so for that line drive to center field.
Stepping up to the plate now for the Riptide is their right fielder, Joshua Solomon. First pitch to Solomon. Misses for a ball. 1-0.
And so far, it's been a very good effort by Harris with the 2 men on and only giving up that first run, the one that was on that triple or potential error on Evan Russell in left field.
That second pitch to Solomon misses again for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. 2-0, 2 on, 2 outs. Two-0 pitch from Harris, swung on and missed by Solomon. 2-1. That was a hearty hack there from Solomon.
Yeah, he was trying to add a home run to his season. But Harris has done a very good job of not even worrying about the runners on base, because right now, all you got to worry about is the hitter, because the people on base can only advance 1 more base, and it's not even that big of a deal since it would only mean 2 guys are in scoring position. But if you get this out, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. And that 2-1 pitch is swung on again and missed by Solomon. And that'll even up the count here at 2-2.
And he does have a home run on the year, Solomon does, so he's probably just trying to get a second home run to go with his 246 average. But he's a guy who's got very good plate discipline, as he's one of the team leaders with 15 walks. He's third on the Riptide.
The umps will call time as it took too long for Hayden Harris to come to the plate. So we'll do it over. 2-2 the count to the right fielder Solomon. And the pitch from Harris is in there for a strike. Ring him up, and Solomon is down looking. And that'll be the final out here in the bottom of the first. So the Riptide pick up 2 hits and pick up 1 run here. And it's a tie ball game at 1-1 here in Irvine as we head to the top of the second. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the top of the second here, coming to you live from Irvine. 1-1 ball game as we head to the top of the second. Leading things off for the Saints will be the first baseman, Pete Durkee. Durkee out of Tennessee. As he takes that first pitch high and outside for ball one. I was told Pete Durkee originally is a catcher, but has been playing a lot of first base for the Saints this season.
And I mean, that is one of the main positions that catchers learn as a secondary option. I mean, just look at Joe Mauer, who was an amazing catcher, but when he got up there in age, he's like, I'd rather do first base. It's better on my knees. So I think that is a normal position that most catchers learn so that they at least have another guy.
A secondary position.
Because a lot of the times when you have your bench players, you want some of them to be more like the middle or the corner infielders where they can do third base and the middle infield. So having a catcher that could be a first baseman also just helps.
As Pete Durkee takes that pitch for a ball. The count is currently 2-1 to Pete Durkee.
And he had to avoid that one a little bit. He moved his shoulder inside as that was pretty close inside pitch.
That 2-1 pitch misses for a ball, so Durkee picks up a hitter's count here at 3-1. 3-1 pitch to Durkee, swung on and popped high towards the pitching dugout. And getting under it is the first baseman, Andre Antone, and makes the catch for the first out here in the top of the second.
And that was a very good play. It was like an over the shoulder basket catch right there by the Saints bullpen, and he was right against the wall. And I think he thought it was going to be closer to the wall because his whole body was basically rubbing up against the side of it. And then his left hand, which has his glove, caught it just a few feet away. So a rough break right there for Durkee.
And stepping to the plate now for the Saints will be the third baseman, Jason Gonzalez. Jason Gonzalez out of Vanderbilt, who had just won the College World Series. And it seems like we always mention that when he's up at the plate, as he smacks that one up the middle for a base hit. And that'll be a one-out hit here for the Saints.
And he was a late addition to the team because he was doing so much with the College World Series, but he's been a very good and welcomed addition. This is his 8th game so far that he's played, and before tonight he had a .346 batting average with 2 RBIs, 8 singles and 1 double, so add another single to the list.
And that'll definitely boost the average up for now. As stepping to the plate for the Saints will be the left fielder, Evan Russell, as he takes that first pitch in the dirt for ball one. We were talking about it during the break, but the pitcher on the mound for the Riptide, you said he has 3 wins thus far. He's been a pretty good pitcher.
Yeah, he's appeared in 8 games, but he also has 3 wins. And he's got one of the lower ERAs on their team, a 2.25. He's only given up 7 earned runs. And then he's had 24 strikeouts and 7 walks.
So that's grounded to second base. Coming up with it,
Blake Evans.
And he'll run on to second for the tag and then throw on to first for the double play. So that was a quick ending for the Saints there, as the Saints pick up 1 hit but no runs as we head to the bottom of the second here. Tie ball game remains at 1-1. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the bottom of the second here at Gray Park. Leading things off for the Riptide will be their left fielder, Antonio Cruz. And remaining on the mound for the Saints is Hayden Harris. That first pitch to Antonio Cruz is popped up in foul ground. And nobody's going to be able to make a play on that, so the count will be 0-1 to Antonio Cruz. As that pitch is swung on and hit to third base, coming up with it, Jason Gonzalez. Throw on to first. And Cruz will be retired for the first out here in the bottom of the second. And coming to the plate now for the Riptide will be their second baseman, Blake Evans. First pitch to Evans, misses low for ball one. The 1-0 pitch from Harris misses low again for ball two. So 2-0 now.
And Blake Evans on the year still looking for his first home run. He has 290 average. And
as Hayden Harris just hit him. So Blake Evans will get a free pass to first. But as you were saying,
well, he has like 10 walks and 10 strikeouts, but then he also has been hit by the pitch 3 times before this game. He was 4th on the team in that, and now it's 4 hit by pitches.
Stepping up now for the Riptide will be their shortstop, Blake Fadul. First pitch to Fadul is swung on and fouled off his foot. Count will be 0-1.
And they're giving him a little bit of time right there as Thomas McCarthy, the catcher, was keeping the ump away just to give him a little bit more time since it's never fun to get hit.
No, I was just going to say, you can't like hitting a ball off your foot. As that second pitch to Fadul is in there for strike 2. So Hayden Harris able to get ahead here with an 0-2 count. Harris peering over at first, comebacks to the plate, and pitches a strike. And ring him up. Fadul is down looking for the second out here in the bottom of the second.
Harris has had some good stuff where
Appears we have some technical difficulties as my partner Cole Stevens' headset is not really working. Stepping up to the plate for the Riptide is the center fielder Michael Peabody. He sent a deep fly ball to left field at his first at bat that Evan Russell was just unable to come up with. And he got a triple out of that, so we'll see what he'll be able to do in this at bat. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Man on first, 1-1 count. And that swung on by Peabody, and that's going to get up to center field for a base hit. So Peabody able to get on base in both of his at-bats thus far. And that'll put a man on first and a man on second here with 2 outs for the Riptide. And stepping up to the plate will be the catcher, Connor Aoki, who in his first at-bat singled into center field. And like my partner Cole Stevens mentioned earlier, is one of the better hitters for the Riptide. First pitch to Aoki is in there for a strike. Hayden Harris checks over at second, but nothing doing. The 0-1 pitch to Harris from Harris, swung on, and a high fly ball to right field. Getting under it and making the catch is Anthony Forte. And that'll be the final out here in the bottom of the second. So the Riptide pick up one hit, but are unable to score any runs. And the score remains tied 1-1 as we head to the top of the third. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the official home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the top of the third here in a 1-1 ball game. And leading things off for the Saints will be the catcher, Thomas McCarthy, as he takes that first pitch high for ball one. The 1-0 pitch to McCarthy is in there for strike one. 1-1. Thomas McCarthy out of the University of San Francisco. 1-1 pitch to McCarthy, misses high and outside for ball two. 2-1 now. Two-one pitch from Booth to McCarthy is swung on and driven into left field, and that's going to be a base hit for McCarthy, and that'll lead things off for the Saints with a base hit. That was a hard hit ball by McCarthy, and a good start for the Saints here in the top of the third. Stepping up to the plate now will be the Saints center fielder, Christian Scott, a Tennessee product, as Scott tries to lay down a bunt, but That ball tips off the bat and lands foul, so it'll be 0-1.
And Christian Scott's one of the faster guys on the team, so he's not doing it as like a sacrifice. He's trying to bunt for a hit and move McCarthy over with some trickery, as the third baseman is closer than most of the infielders, but he could still squeeze it down.
And Christian Scott sends this one to left center, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. So back-to-back base hits for the Saints. And there's a man on first and a man on second here with no outs.
And the bunt attempt kind of helped because it was also a way to get that third baseman in, because if he hit a line drive past him, it's also kind of a way to move him out of position of where he would normally be. So even though it went into left field, it still could have done the same effect to the third baseman.
And it kind of throws the pitcher off balance a little bit. After you show bunt, the pitcher may think, oh, he might show bunt again. And Christian Scott did not, and drove that ball into left field for a base hit. Stepping up to the plate for the Saints will be their leadoff man, Anthony Forte, as he takes that first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Forte struck out in his first at-bat in the first inning, as that 1-0 pitch is popped up high. Getting under it is the third baseman, just unable to make the catch. Got two in front of that ball and mistracked it. So that'll go as a strike, and the count will be 1-1 to Anthony Forte.
And Tyler Booth has to watch out for the runners on base, especially with Christian Scott being the speedster. He's basically like a second leadoff hitter at the 9 hole.
That 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball. That's in there for a strike. 1-2 now.
This is Anthony Forte's 18th game in the CCL. He has 20 hits, 12 singles, 6 doubles, a triple, and 1 home run, with 9 RBIs to make a .312 average.
As that pitch is swung on and driven to deep center field, getting under it and making the catch is Peabody. But when doing so, both runners tag and both runners advance to the next base. So there will be a man on third and a man on second here with 1 out.
And right there, the ball hung up so high and so long in the air that both the runners were like, all right, it's not going to drop. He's tracking it well. So they just went back to their respected bases, and then they just went to steal the next base on just good positioning and also just movement on the base paths.
And that's smart base running from both Thomas McCarthy and Christian Scott to advance bases on that fly ball. As batting now for the Saints is their second baseman, Thomas Luvano, as he takes that first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 the count to Luvano. That 0-1 pitch is swung on and slapped towards the first base dugout foul. So Luvano will fall into a hole here at 0-2.
And Luvano has the best average for the Saints this year. In 22 games, he has 31 hits. He's scored 17 runs, which is second on the team. He has 21 singles, 6 doubles, 4 home runs, and 17 RBIs to make a .360 average. And he has 16 strikeouts and then 9 walks.
As Luvano swings and misses at that pitch, running over to first to try to get there safely, but throwing him out is the catcher, Aoki. So Luvano will go down swinging here, and that'll make it 2 outs here in the top of the third for the Saints. Stepping up to the plate will be their shortstop, Drew Cowley. So we got a man on second, a man on third with 2 outs as Drew Cowley takes that first pitch low for ball 1.
And And Drew Cowley just has to get something in the outfield or even something, a ground ball up the middle to try and score these 2 runs. And this game's going to seem like it's going to be a hitter's duel where both teams are showing good abilities to get on base.
As that ball is slapped to second base, coming up with it and throwing on to first is Blake Evans, and Drew Cowley will be retired for the final out here in the top of the 3rd. Saints pick up 2 hits, but are unable to get those 2 hits to turn into runs, and the score will remain 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the bottom of the 3rd here in Irvine. 1-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. And leading things off, excuse me, for the Riptide is their designated hitter, Dylan Rock.
Maybe you should have gotten that water.
I know. As Dylan Rock takes that first pitch for a ball, 1-0. But I was trying to get some water during the break, and the batter was coming up to the plate, so I had to come back and get the headset on.
You got up too late.
Yeah, I know. Dylan Rock hits that over to short, coming up with his Drew Cowley and throwing on to first. But Dylan Rock is called safely there by the umpire, as the first base umpire said Pete Durkee, the first baseman, was off the bag when he caught that ball. I mean, he clearly caught it before Dylan Rock reached first base, but the umpire believed that the runner was safe because Pete Durkee was off the bag. But I had a clear look at that play, and I thought Pete Durkee was on the bag when he made that catch. So Coach Milam is out there talking to the first base umpire, trying to get an explanation.
And it looks like they're going to the home plate umpire to talk to him as well, or looks like it could be a meeting between all 3 umpires.
And Pete Durkee clearly acting like he was definitely on the bag when he made that catch. So the umpires will get together for a discussion, and I wonder if they're going to reverse the call. I'd be fascinated in
that result.
Yeah.
I really wonder if they're going to break out the instant replay system that they have in hidden cameras, because they don't have it here for summer ball, but imagine if they did. That'd be a real big gotcha moment.
If only we had the camera on first base.
Well, we do have the YouTube Live. They could just go back and look at it, but that may take a while because you have to scroll with your finger on your phone, so that's always never the easiest. But it should be interesting because this could change the whole inning.
And they're going to call him safe. So Dylan Rock will remain at first base.
And now we got to see if Pete Durkee shows any more emotion or any more signs with that he's still upset about it for the later innings in the field or even when he's at the plate.
And going is Dylan Rock, but catching him is Harris. And Dylan Rock will be out at second base.
And yeah, he was leaning. He was definitely going to go on that. And it looks like it also was looking like it was going to be a hit and run. Like he was just moving on first movement right there. And then Durkee got the ball and just made sure to throw it. And it was actually kind of a interesting throw. I was thinking he was going to hit his shoulder or the helmet, which was a little tough, where he didn't keep it on the left side. He almost moved it over to the right.
So that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the third. At the plate for the Riptide is their first baseman, Andre Antone. And the count to Antone right now is 1-1. Antone struck out swinging in the first as he hits that ball high to shallow right field. Coming in for it is Anthony Forte, and he's going to be able to get under it and make the catch for the second out here in the bottom of the third.
And even though they called Rock safe on that infield hit, it was very good that they got him in that caught stealing, because if you just imagine if he's able to get there to second base safely, then you have a guy who's trying to think about moving to third base on that fly ball, and it just changes the whole outlook of how Harris is going to pitch.
Stepping up to the plate for the Riptide is the third baseman, Trey Lipscomb, who lined out to center field in his first at-bat. As he swings and misses at that pitch, the count to Lipscomb is currently 1-1.
And that last pitch really fooled him. That off-speed pitch was a dribbler in the dirt, and he still swung at it. So you could tell he was thinking it was going to be a fastball or even something with more velocity and was not expecting that.
And that's a pitch with some velocity on it from Harris, but in the dirt for ball 2. So 2-1 the count to Lipscomb. Two-one pitch is swung on and grounded to second. Coming up with it is Luvano thrown on to first, and Lipscomb will be retired for the final out here in the bottom of the third. So the Riptide unable to score any runs on a quick inning, and we head to the top of the fourth here with the score remaining 1-1. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. We are headed to the top of the fourth here at Great Ballpark, home of the Orange County Riptide. And leading things off for the Saints in this inning will be their designated hitter, Andy Garriola. The first pitch to Garriola is swung on and missed for strike one.
And not to get too off topic, but I have never heard of this place. And I'm actually so glad I came to these games because this ballpark is amazing.
Yeah.
And the whole park itself with all the softball fields and soccer fields that it has. I mean, they played at Fullerton College last year, the Riptide did, and it was good, but nothing compared to this. This one
Yeah.
has actual seats. It's not just a bleacher. It's a seat with an actual fold-down chair.
It really is a great ballpark as Garriola slaps that foul down the third base line. So the count will be 1-2 to Garriola. But like you said, it is definitely a beautiful ballpark here in Irvine. And this is the first year the Saints have been coming to this ballpark, so it's definitely a fun time to be out here. The 1-2 pitch to Garriola is in the dirt for ball 2, so that'll even up the count here at 2-2.
I think the Riptide had a few defensive subs because it looks like Joshua Solomon's now their first baseman, and they have a new right fielder. I can't really tell the right fielder's number, but something happened to Andre Antone in that last inning.
Well, Andre Antone is now at third base, as that's a dribbler that the catcher is able to come up with and throw onto first. So Garriola will be retired for the first out here in the top of the fourth.
So it looks like it's number 2, Connor Abe, but now I just wonder who's the guy that was taken out. Well, because now Trey Lipscomb's at second base. So all kinds of movement here that's just going to confuse us for the rest of the game. So we'll start to make those changes now.
So it looks like Blake Evans is out of the game, as Pete Durkee is up to bat now for the Saints and takes that first pitch in there for a strike.
And that probably means that batting 8th is going to be Connor Abe. So basically he took his spot and then is just playing a different position from all these moves.
And just to correct you, it's actually Connor Obi, I've learned.
Obi.
Did
we say Abe the last time?
Well, as that ball is popped up to shallow left, coming under it and making the catch is the shortstop. But, the first time I broadcasted here, I called him Ob. And then I've learned that it's actually Obi. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's a good Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars reference right there. Everyone should know what we're talking about, hopefully.
Stepping up to the plate now for the Saints is Jason Gonzalez as he swings at that first pitch and fouls it back 0-1.
But so right now, as what we think and as we're trying to investigate as on our own, we think the second baseman Blake Evans is out of the game. Trey Lipscomb moves from third base to second base. Andre Antone moves from first base to third base. Right fielder Joshua Solomon is now at first base. And then the person probably subbing in to be the 8th hitter is Connor Obi in right field.
So we think we've figured it out. And the count is currently 0-2 to Jason Gonzalez, excuse me. Should have got more water.
Yeah, that's going to be a good running joke for the rest of the broadcast.
The 0-2 pitch misses for ball 1. So 1-2 to Jason Gonzalez.
And we just want to apologize in advance. We're not going to be able to find out what happened to Blake Evans, as we do not have that kind of access to the other team, let alone the Saints. I don't even think we would find out about any specifics with any injuries.
That 1-2 pitch is in there, and Jason Gonzalez goes down looking for the final out here in the top of the fourth. So 3 up and 3 down go the Saints, and we're headed to the bottom of the fourth with the score remaining 1-1. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the bottom of the fourth here in Irvine. Leading things off for the Riptide, is their now first baseman, Joshua Solomon. Hayden Harris back out for his fourth inning of work. Thus far has given up 3 hits and 1 run. As that 0-1 pitch misses high and outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
And I really don't know where that pitch missed. The glove of McCarthy did not move that much, so I was thinking it was going to be a strike right there, but it's probably just a little too high or a little bit too far inside.
As that 1-1 pitch misses outside for the count to now be 2-1 to Joshua Solomon. Solomon struck out looking in his first at bat back in the first inning. So I imagine he's trying to make some contact here. As Harris misses with that 2-1 pitch inside, the count will now be 3-1.
And the sun is actually playing tricks on the first baseman, Pete Durkee. He's got glasses on underneath his hat, but he's still having to cover it with his right hand, his throwing hand, as the sun is probably right in his eyes. And Anthony Forte in right field does not have any glasses on, but we'll have to see if he's having any trouble with the sun.
That 3-1 pitch to Solomon was fouled off his foot. So the count will run full here, and the full count pitch is swung on and grounded to third. Coming up with it is Jason Gonzalez, thrown on to first, and he got him. So Solomon will be retired here for the first out in the bottom of the fourth. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Antonio Cruz, for the Riptide. First pitch to Cruz is swung on and fouled back, 0-1.
And that was good solid contact right there. He was just a little late. And also he was a little bit under it, so the ball went high into the netting.
That 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, that's in there for a strike, 0-2 now.
That was a very good breaking ball right there. Looked almost like a curveball, but also a little bit of a slider.
Oh, that 0-2 pitch is fouled back over the netting, so the count will remain 0-2.
I don't even know where that last ball went, and I always get nervous because if there's a righty, I always wonder if they're going to slice it right into our broadcast area right here. And if I'm not aware of it, I could get hit.
Oh, absolutely.
And it could be a very big show when I'm moaning on the ground on the broadcast. So just always got to be aware of that.
We don't want that. Yeah.
No. Definitely don't want any screams of agony and pain.
And that 1-2 pitch is swung on by Antonio Cruz. So Cruz goes down swinging for the second out here in the bottom of the fourth. And that'll bring up Blake Evans' replacement, Connor Obi, who is now in right field for the Riptide. And he'll make his first appearance here of the day. As he swings at that first pitch and fouls it back, 0-1.
Connor Obi's going to be a senior this upcoming year at UT Arlington. And he's played in 22 games, so this will be his 23rd. So he's been a very big part of this Riptide team.
0-1 pitch from Harris is swung on by Obi and missed, 0-2.
Obi has 13 hits, 9 singles, 2 doubles, and 1 triple. And he's driven in 8 runs for a 186 average. He struck out 18 times and only has 4 walks, so that's the only downside really of his year so far is all the strikeouts. But he does have 8 steals, so if he gets on base, he is a threat to steal.
And Obi swings and misses for strike 3. Runs over to first as that ball was in the dirt. But Thomas McCarthy able to throw that ball onto first and retire Obi for the final out here in the bottom of the 4th. So 3 up and 3 down go the Riptide, and we're headed to the top of the 5th here. 1-1 ball game. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back, viewers. We are headed to the top of the 5th here. Leading things off for the Saints will be their left fielder, Evan Russell. First pitch to Russell misses high for ball 1. Tyler Booth remaining on the mound for the Riptide, entering his 5th inning of work. That 1-0 pitch misses low for ball 2. So Evan Russell able to get himself into a good hitter's count at 2-0. The 2-0 pitch from Booth misses again for ball 3. So 3 straight balls thrown by Booth. And the 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 3-1 now.
And Russell's been one of the more consistent players since he got here. He got here a little late. He's from Tennessee and plays at Tennessee. But he's played in 16 games. This is his 16th game, and he has 10 hits so far, 6 singles and 4 doubles, a 182 average, and now that's his 14th walk to go with 15 strikeouts.
And Evan Russell was one of the 8 players selected to the CCL Prospects game for the Saints. So definitely a great honor for him to be a part of that game. And Evan Russell picks up the walk to lead things off for the Saints in this inning. And Booth throws on to first to try to get Evan Russell, but a head first slide, and Russell's in there safely. Now batting for the Saints is the catcher, Thomas McCarthy, who in his last at-bat had a line drive single to left field. That first pitch to McCarthy is in there for strike 1.
And the Riptide did their homework. Russell has 7 stolen bases so far this year in the California Collegiate League, so they want to make sure they keep him close to first base so he doesn't get any big secondary leads or even think of stealing to second base.
And Russell's going, throw down to second, head first slide, and they got him. Russell will be out, and a great throw by Aoki to gun Russell down there.
And yeah, a few of the Saints players in the dugout below us were not too happy about that call. They did not think he was out. They thought he was safe. And I mean, he has some good speed, but right there, that was just a great throw by Aoki.
So the count is 0-2 to Thomas McCarthy. The 0-2 pitch is swung on and grounded through the hole of third and short. And that ball will roll on into the outfield for a base hit for McCarthy. But the third baseman, Andre Antone, tried to make a diving catch for that ground ball, but unable to come up with that ball as that ball just rolls off the top of his glove. And that'll be a base hit for Thomas McCarthy here with one out.
And you also got to wonder if he's still adjusting to being at third base. He started at first base, and last inning in the top of the fourth inning is when he fully moved over to third base. So you got to wonder if he's still getting used to, if I'm going to slide for anything in the field of play, I got to slide to my left. So you got to wonder if he's still getting adjusted to all the nuances of third base since he started on the complete opposite corner.
Up to bat now for the Saints is their center fielder, Christian Scott, as he fouls that pitch off. The count is currently 1-1 to Scott. One count. One on, one out here in the top of the fifth. And the 1-1 pitch from Booth misses for ball two. 2-1 now.
And that was a pretty good pitch there, but Scott stayed away from it and knew that's not the type of pitch he wants in this at-bat. He's trying to keep this inning going, and he wants to add to this game with the score only being 1-1 here in the top of the fifth.
As that 2-1 pitch misses high and away for ball three. So Scott gets himself into a good hitter's count here at 3-1. And he'll be looking for a pitch to hit here. 3-1 pitch from Booth is swung on and fouled back over the third base dugout. And that'll draw the count full here at 3-2.
And just as a little disclaimer, we're going to be switching our roles. Even the interns have to practice here in California Collegiate League, where I will be doing the play-by-play after this inning, and then Jack will be the color guy. That's the most fair way we, as interns, decided. You do 5 innings, and then the other person does the bottom of the fifth to the rest of the game. So
get ready, folks.
Because the only other way you do it is you really switch it up as 3, 3, and 3, but that's kind of too constant of a switch for you guys, the audience, where it just would be a little too hard to remember who's the play-by-play and who's the color.
So that 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4, so Christian Scott will draw the walk. And there will be a man on first and a man on second here with one out. And coming to the plate will be the Saints leadoff man, Anthony Forte. But it appears the Riptide will have a meeting on the mound.
And they don't have anyone warming up in the bullpen yet. It looks like it could be 41 as he's heading towards the direction of the bullpen. So it's probably just a meeting to get him at least started with his warm-up tosses. And if it is 41, that would be Noah Walker, who plays at Texas State University, a right-handed pitcher. But this is starting off just like that last time that McCarthy and Scott got on, both getting on with singles in that inning, but they're both on first and second base, so hopefully the Saints can do something with this and get some more runs on the board.
Yeah, the game is currently tied right now at 1-1, so it would be a good opportunity here for the Saints to pick up a run and try to get them in the lead. They've got 2 on here with 1 out. And Anthony Forte coming up to the plate, who also was another player for the Saints that was selected in the CCL Prospects game.
Yeah, they had a good amount of players for this year. I don't think they had as many All-Stars last year, so very good year so far for the Saints.
As Forte drills that ball up the gut and into center field for a base hit, but the runners will only advance 90 feet as the bases are now loaded here with one out. And coming to the plate now is one of the big run producers for the Saints, their second baseman, Thomas Luvano.
And right there, that hit by Forte, it was just too hard of a line drive that it was only a one-hopper to Michael Peabody in center field, so it was too hard to even think about going home on that one, as his throw to the cutoff man, Joshua Solomon, was right in between the pitching mound and second base, so it was not going to be a safe run, I don't think, at all if they tried to score.
So a big opportunity for the Saints now with the bases loaded. As that first pitch to Luvano was fouled back and goes just over us.
I was ready for it. Jack, I don't really know about you because I couldn't see you.
I was keeping my eye on the ball.
Okay, good.
So the count will be 0-1 to Luvano. Tyler Booth, the pitcher for the Riptide, in a bit of a jam here as Luvano sends that through the gap of second and first, and that's going to be a base hit. Coming home from third is Thomas McCarthy, and that will be the only run scored from that hit, so the bases will remain loaded, and the Saints pick up one more run and currently now have the lead 2-1.
And Christian Scott was like halfway down the third base line, but that throw was too good and right up the third base line that he was probably going to be out if he tried to score.
Stepping up to the plate for the Saints is Drew Cowley as he sends that one to left field. The left fielder, Antonio Cruz, dives but is unable to make the catch. Rounding second and headed to third is Drew Cowley, and he's in there safely. So he will clean the bases for the Saints as 3 runs are scored off that triple from Drew Cowley, and the score is now 5-1 in favor of the Saints.
That was a very good piece of hitting right there. First pitch swinging on that one, and he took a high pitch deep to left field, and that was a good try by Cruz. He dove for it, but he was just a little too far away, and he was not able to catch it, and it went by him. You would hope you would have stopped it, but he didn't stop it, so then he had to chase after the ball, so just a little tough for the Riptide right now.
And batting now for the Saints is their designated hitter, Andy Garriola. And Garriola with the runner in scoring position, able to tack on the lead for the Saints if he's able to pick up a base hit. As that pitch misses for a ball, the count is 2-1 to Garriola, and the lights have just come on here at Great Park, and I was wondering when they were going to come on. The sun was coming down, and Garriola sends this one high and deep to left field. Getting under it is Cruz and making the catch. Tagging from third and headed home is Drew Cowley, and he's going to get to home safely. And that'll be another run tacked on to the lead for the Saints, and the score is now 6-1. Stepping up to the plate for the Saints will be their first baseman, Pete Durkee. First pitch to Durkee is in there for a strike. So Tyler Booth runs into some trouble here in the top of the 5th and gives up 5 runs. And the Saints have blown this game open a little bit.
And last batter during Garriola's at-bats, they turned the lights on, and it seemed like a few of the players on both sides in both their dugouts were kind of like, whoa. They were like wondering if it was going to be a paused game since the lights went on so suddenly and like right during his at-bat, but they didn't call times on it.
Durkee grounds that over to second. Coming up with it is Lipscomb and throws on to first to retire Durkee for the final out here in the top of the 5th. So the Saints pick up 5 runs on a big inning and now lead 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. My partner, Cole Stevens, will be taking over play-by-play from now on. So get ready for that. And you've been listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball.
And welcome back to Great Park here in Irvine. I'm Cole Stevens with my partner Jack Steele. We're about to start the bottom of the 5th inning with the Saints leading 6-1. And that first pitch to Blake Fadul, the shortstop, was a strike as he was swinging at that high fastball.
And the pitcher, Hayden Harris, will remain on the mound for the Saints as he enters his 5th inning of work.
And they still don't have anyone warming up, so you got to wonder, they're seeing how this inning goes, and maybe they'll have a meeting or have people warming up if this inning starts to go bad. But at the moment, he's doing a very good job, so no reason to rush him out.
And I was just going to say that. I believe Hayden Harris has done a fine job as he strikes out the first batter. I mean, he's only given up 3 hits and 1 run, and he looks to be in quite a groove right now.
And that was the second strikeout that Blake Fadul had in this game. And now batting, it's the center fielder, Michael Peabody. He has 1 hit that we know of for sure. In the first inning and the first at-bat for the Riptide, he had a deep drive to left field. And we don't know if they called the error on Russell or if they called it on someone else, but it went over his head and it was a little out of his reach. But then Peabody was able to make it to third base. But now that I look at the scoreboard, it does say 2 errors. And those are the only plays that I think were errors. So, actually, no, there's another one right here. Limscomb got one from an error. Actually, you know what? I stand corrected. The 2 errors were the one from Russell and Drew Cowley, both in the first inning. So they did finally catch up on the scoreboard. And Peabody strikes out right there on a swinging pitch up in the zone. So Hayden Harris is still looking very good and in a groove right here. He must be happy about the runs that the Saints had in the top of the inning.
Yeah, I would imagine that kind of settled him in a little bit. Not too much to worry about, but just getting his outs. And back-to-back strikeouts for Hayden Harris to start this bottom of the 5th.
And now he's facing the catcher, Connor Aoki, who has a line drive go right past shortstop Drew Cowley, so he reaches base on a 2-out hit.
And that was a hard hit ball through the gap of short and third, and it went right by Drew Cowley, but that ball was hit so hard it was hard for Cowley to have enough reaction time to make a play on that ball.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he had enough time to do that, so kind of just a good placement right there on that line drive from the righty. And now up it's Dylan Rock, who goes to UT San Antonio for college, and he takes that off-speed pitch down in the down below the strike zone for ball 1. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Saints lead 6-1. They had 5 runs in the top of the 5th inning. The big hit was a 3-run triple by Drew Cowley that Antonio Cruz, the left fielder, dove for, but missed it, and it did not stop from his glove or his hand, so it went by him, so he had to run after it. So that was the big hit last half inning. So the count is 1-1. Harris is ready. Looks over at Aoki at first base. And that off-speed pitch is also low and in the dirt and did not fool Dylan Rock at all, so he keeps the bat on his shoulder. The count is now 2-1. And the Riptide still have one guy warming up, and I think it's Noah Walker, number 41, who will most likely come in to start the top of the 6th inning. As that pitch from Harris is strike 2 of this at-bat.
And Hayden Harris with an opportunity here to strike out his third batter of the inning with this 2-2 count.
And right there, it's a drive right to Cowley. A little ground ball line drive right to him. And he gets it, and he throws it to Thomas Luvano at second to end the inning. So that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. They get no runs. And we're heading to the top of the 6th inning, and we're going to have Tito Robles on the mic for us. So he'll join us. So you're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back. We're here at Great Park in Irvine. Score is 6-1. Arroyo Seco Saints leading here against OC Riptide as Jason Gonzalez is up at the plate, the third baseman today. And we have a fellow third baseman being interviewed right now, Tito Robles. Tito, say hi to everyone.
How we doing?
So Tito, can you explain to us how you got to be playing with the Arroyo Seco Saints? Did your coaches tell you about it, or had you known about that team?
I know know a couple people on the team that played in past years, and I kind of wanted to stay home for the summer, and it was pretty much a perfect location. I would be able to stay home, and I was able to I would commute, so it was pretty easy.
Okay.
Some coaches referred me too, so
Okay.
yeah,
That's
I was a
good.
late pickup.
Yeah. Here's the pitch from Noah Walker. And the ball is going to wind up foul. So Tyler Booth is done for the game. He pitched 5 innings. He gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned runs. He had 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So I have a question. So I know you went to St. John Bosco, but did you go all 4 years there, or did you transfer in because they're a really good school?
Oh no, all 4 years.
Okay. See, I respect that more. If you transferred in, I would have been a little bit more like, all right, just because they're good.
Just because it's Bosco.
Yeah, but we actually went to the same school. I was a year before you. That we were not there at the same time, but you did a very good job with APU. Can you tell us about your high school recruitment and what schools were looking at you, what schools offered you, and why you ended up picking Azusa Pacific?
I was looking into a couple D1s. I visited a couple like Cal, Long Beach, talking to San Jose a little bit. I visited Utah, but none of them ever offered. So, and one day I was playing with the SGV Arsenal, and one of the Cougar coaches was there, and he saw me, and I had quite a game. I hit 2 home runs in one game, and he called me that day, and he told me they were going to offer me. So, that was that. Ended up at APU.
Okay, so you had no D1 offers, right?
No.
They just talked to you? Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you think that was the better choice? Did you have any other D2 offers that were looking at you?
No, that was pretty much it in the D2 region.
Well,
But I'm glad I ended up there. You know, I had a good year. I love it there. So.
yeah, and for the last at-batter was Jason Gonzalez, and he struck out. And now up it is the left fielder Evan Russell, who is 0 for 1 today with a walk. But yeah, so I saw you a few times playing. I went to one of the playoff games since I graduated the year before. And you had a very good year. You hit over 300. Can you tell us just a little bit what's your best part of your game and what's an area that you really want to improve here in summer ball or also in fall ball when you return to college?
Like this past year, I was really focusing on just trying to get my pitch and trying to drive it to all fields. I wasn't playing at first the beginning of the year, and our first baseman went down, so they put me in there. And it worked out. I just stick to my process, and I just wanted to drive the ball to all fields. And in the summer, I wanted to improve on, like, it's a good league, and there's good velo and stuff. So I wanted to just see how this pitching was to get me ready for when I get back up there. So.
And just right now, Evan Russell hit a soft line drive into right center field, so he's on first base with a single. And now up it's Thomas McCarthy, the catcher, who's 2 for 2. Grounds it to the third baseman, who bobbles it, and he throws over to first base, but the ball is dropped by Solomon. And running to third is Evan Russell, and that looked like it could be a little bit of an error. He was kind of second-guessing if he should throw it to second or if Russell was too fast for him. What do you think happened right there, being a fellow third baseman? I mean, he definitely lost the grip, right?
Yeah, he double-clutched a little bit. He lost his grip. And he tried to rush to throw to first, so he ended up throwing it away. You don't want to make the second mistake, and he made the second mistake there. He should have just kept his cool and went to first. Nice, easy throw. He probably could have got him still.
Yeah, and they were calling that an error, but I think it could be an error on Solomon, who dropped the ball. So
could be, yeah.
Either way, there was an error on that one. So McCarthy is 2 for 3, and now up it's the center fielder Christian Scott. So almost all the broadcasters always ask this question, but what is your go-to meal before a game whenever you're playing here or when you're in college or high school?
I'll stick to my college because I really don't have a summer meal. Like, I have breakfast and stuff. Usual, like, I'll go with some eggs. Today I had eggs, bacon, and hash browns. It was pretty good. But in college, I would go to Starbucks and I would get a Java chip frap. And
because it's so healthy.
Oh, yeah. It gets me going. And we would go to Chick-fil-A. Some guys would go to Chick-fil-A and I would tell them to get me stuff. because I don't want to leave. I want to stay there. Yeah.
Because that's how superstars act, right?
I needed to get locked in, and then I would get a Chick-fil-A sandwich, no pickles, and eat that with the Java chip wrap. That was my go-to meal during season.
Not bad, not bad. I had Chick-fil-A today. I was gonna go to Burger King, but
good choice. Good choice.
A road in Anaheim Hills where I live was kind of having road work, so it was gonna be too slow to go for dinner. So I was like, I'll just get here and find somewhere to eat.
Exactly.
So I went to Chick-fil-A on Irvine Boulevard. I got my number one meal, which I always get with a Powerade.
Same.
What is your go-to meal?
Ooh,
It's
very detailed.
When you're at Chick-fil-A.
When I'm at Chick-fil-A, I've been doing this for a while. I get the number one, no pickles. That's a regular chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah, making sure. And
Like
I get that with fries. Yeah, I get that with fries, and usually get a Sprite. Maybe get a shake if I'm feeling it, and then I get another 4-count chicken strips.
Hopefully the coaches don't get mad that you drink soda a little bit.
Sprite, I think Sprite's like not as bad as other sodas, but I don't do it often.
I think it does have a lower calorie or sugar.
It doesn't
it
doesn't
and they
taste as like bad in my mouth. So.
And they always say it's a little better than the dark sodas because the dark sodas, of course, stain your teeth, but they're also,
it feels bad.
I think, more accustomed with sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian Scott right there just struck out, so now it's the right fielder Anthony Forte, who is 1 for 3 today. So Tito, what is when you got here, were any of these players someone that you knew or people that you were accustomed with because you played against them in either high school or that you just knew from other like high school like fall ball leagues?
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about some of the guys that you knew?
We have some Cal Poly Pomona guys on here, and we beat them down in regionals, so I remember them. I played with Marco Martinez since I was young, like 11, 12 years old. I'm trying to think of others. No, that's pretty much it. I played with Jason Gonzalez a little bit in travel ball. But no, these guys are great. We get along well, and we just have fun.
And then Marco Martinez is at a junior college. He's like one of the few that's a junior college player.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to him about trying to go to APU? I mean, he plays the same position as you, so
he does.
It could be a bad omen.
Yeah, a little bit. No, I don't know if he's too interested in going to APU.
Well, because he was committed to SC and then things fell through.
Yeah,
so.
he should. I feel like he's D1 caliber for sure.
And then do you think you should have been D1 caliber? Or what do you think held you back from that?
I honestly don't know. Like, I would always ask myself that, like what did they not see in me, you know? But, you know, it is what it is, and I'm at where I'm at now, and I'm not complaining. I'm doing pretty good, so just got to get back and do it again, you know?
And for any of you guys that heard Jack Steele giggle a little while ago, he's still on the mic. He's just using the mic that wasn't really working, so he's not really saying much.
Very quiet.
He
very
can
quiet
talk, but he just doesn't want to, I guess. But so when you're from Bellflower, right?
Paramount.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's
the next city over from
in the area.
Bellflower, yeah.
So
Paramount,
was Bosco the only real choice that you thought about for high school, or did you have other options?
It was Bosco because, like, the home school right there in Paramount wasn't like the best for baseball, so. Ooh.
Right there, Anthony Forte hits a deep drive foul right field, went over the secondary fence that guards the facility, but then keep going. So Bosco had the better program.
Yeah, the better program, the better school all around. Catholic, I'm Catholic, so it worked out. And I really wanted to keep playing after high school, so we felt like that was the best choice, and it truly paid off.
And then at Bosco, did you have to do like a chapel or like do stuff like that
with
church?
We had mass like once a month.
Okay.
Wasn't that bad, yeah.
A lot different than APU.
Oh,
it's
APU,
3 times.
3 chapels a week.
But I mean, it's not bad because it's only an hour. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like some that go 2 hours, but
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes you're like, oh, okay.
Sometimes you want to.
But you do get 10 absences. I
Yep.
mean, we're not trying to give APU commercial here, but basically you have 10 absences, so you can choose when you want to go and when you can't go.
You got to say those for the end of the semester, so.
Yeah, so you can study for your finals.
Yeah.
And Anthony Fortes fouled the last 3 off. One went to deep right field. One went into the netting, and that one sliced over the Riptide dugout towards left field. And the count is 3-2 still with 2 outs. And they have 2 runners on. They have Russell on third base and Thomas McCarthy on first base. And the Saints are winning 6-1. And then to another question about the teammates. Are any of the teammates, do they have a skill or like a leadership quality that you just really admire about them? And like, if so, just tell us some of the players that you admire because of their skill or something they can do on the field, or just their leadership quality.
Oh, I really like go to Drew Cowley for things, because like that guy just hits, and he's just a good player. He's a good person. He's funny.
And then you always remind him that your team beat him.
Yeah. I beat him on. I beat on him for that. But no, I want to dig into that guy's mind and see what he does at the plate, because all he does is hits. I don't remember the last time he didn't get a hit in the game.
And he had that good triple earlier in this game.
Yeah, look, he's on deck. Let's see what he.
Hopefully he gets up. Yeah, it's going to be his fourth at bat if he gets up right now. But at the plate at the moment with the bases loaded is second baseman Thomas Luvano, who did basically less than a half check swing, but he still fouled it off on the very end of the bat, so the count is 0-1. And then, so what is something that you've always wanted to be able to do with a sport? Like, was this always your main sport that you wanted to play, or were you also a basketball player, football player?
I actually started with basketball. I forgot. I was really young, probably like 6 or 7, and I started playing baseball at 8 years old, and I never stopped. So, and I'm glad it went like that. So.
Okay, so we just want to say thank you to Tito Robles for coming and being our interview today. That will do it for the Saints as Thomas Luvano grounds out to the third baseman, who tags third base, and that will end the top of the 6th inning. And you are listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Saints baseball. Welcome back to Saints baseball here on YouTube Live. Hayden Harris is still on the mound right now, and that's a deep drive from Andre Antone to right field, but Anthony Forte is able to run it down and track it deep into right field right before the warning track, and he catches it for the first out of the inning. So a very loud and long out, but no damage is done right there.
And if you're Hayden Harris, that's exactly what you want. One pitch, one out. And it's a good start for the Saints here in the bottom of the 6th.
And it's also a little troubling because you don't want to give up that big of a hit in these late innings. As right there, Trey Lipscomb grounds it into the middle of the infield, and Cowley gets it right behind second base and has a nice strong throw to Durkee for the second out. So 2 pitches and 2 outs. So Hayden Harris may get even further into this game just because of the very good and not very patient swinging from the Riptide, as they were swinging at almost everything.
And nobody appears to be in the bullpen for the Saints at this moment. So it's all up to Hayden Harris at this point. And thus far, he's done a great job.
And when a pitcher's hot like this, you kind of just let him go and you just see how he does. They can easily use to have a relief pitcher come in for him because being summer ball, you want people to get as many reps as they can. And right there, Joshua Solomon drives it deep into center field, and Christian Scott didn't even see it and didn't even know where it was, so it was not even close to him, and Anthony Forte had to get that ball as it was behind him and to the left of his body. So very weird play right there, most likely going to be an error, so I just don't know where he lost it. He probably lost it in the lights before it got fully airborne super high in the sky, because there's not much that's going to be restricting him if he's losing it straight up in the air. But if he lost it in the lights and then just never tracked it again, and I think they're going to call it just a double right now, as it was kind of just a mistaken play on that. So,
Yeah, I'm surprised Christian Scott was unable to track that ball down.
and right there, Antonio Cruz hits it to Anthony Forte in right field, and he's able to catch it for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Riptide. The score is still 6-1 as we just ended the bottom of the sixth inning. You're listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back to Great Park here in Irvine. I am Cole Stevens with Jack Steele. He's cleaning his glasses because both of us have glasses, so that just lets you know we can't see the best, but we can see well with these corrective lenses, so there's a little side story on our lives. And now batting it is the man who bats third for the Saints, Drew Cowley. He is 2 for 3 today. He has a triple, a single, and he grounded out to the second baseman. And he has 4 RBIs today, so having a very good game for the Saints as they lead 6-1 here in the top of the seventh inning.
And has been a big part of the Saints offense thus far. Like you said, 4 runs of the 6 total for the Saints. So it's definitely been a run producer in today's matchup.
And he's one of, I think, 2 or 3 players who returned to the Saints this year from last year. He was on this team last year with Marco Martinez. And I think there's a third player. I'm not too sure, but they don't get that many people to come back to the same team. And right there, he hits one down the line, and he's going to second base, and he's going to make it there standing up. So not to get too excited because he may not get another at-bat, being that we're in the top of the 7th. But he just got a double, and he just needs a triple to get the cycle. And that'd be pretty great in summer ball because that just shows that you have very good adeptness at being a hitter for anything with baseball, really, as a college player.
And, I mean, Drew Cowley just tacking on to what has already been a great day for him and leads things off for the Saints with a double here in the top of the 7th.
And he's right in front of Andy Garriola, who's the big power hitter for the Saints. He's 6'4", 225, right-handed hitter, and plays for Old Dominion. He just finished his freshman year, so he's now a sophomore. And he takes a big rip at that one and fouls it into the bleachers. It actually went off the top of the building and went back into the seats. So the count is 0-1 to Garriola. Here's the pitch from Noah Walker. And that one's called low and outside, so it is even at 1-1. And Drew Cowley's on second base. He got on with a double, a leadoff double down the left field line. And right there, Garriola takes that pitch outside. Cowley had a very just soft ground ball that went right by third base, and the ump called it fair. And not much of a reaction from Andre Anton, as it was a little bit out of his reach. So he kind of just looked at it and was hoping it was foul, but it ended up being a fair ball. Garriola takes the 2-1 pitch, and he has a deep drive foul over the Saints dugout here in right field area. So the count is now 2-2, and the Saints are leading 6-1 here on Tuesday, July 16th. And right there, he takes a pitch inside. He even put a little bit of a back hunch in his upper back to kind of make it seem like it was more inside than it was, trying to sell the call a little bit. And he did. The count is full. And right there, he takes a pitch, and he's struck out looking right there. So not one of the better days for Garriola. He was 0 for 3 so far. He has 1 sac fly, but he has 2 strikeouts and a double play, so not one of his better performances. And now up it is the first baseman, Pete Durkee.
And Garriola looked at that ball as if it was a ball as he was heading on his way to first, but umpire called him out. And if you're an umpire, you probably don't like to see hitters do that, where they kind of just think it's a walk or think it's a ball and they walk when it's actually, in actuality, a strike to the umpire.
But it's not as bad as when it's like a 3-1 or a 3-0 count, because then you still have more pitches. This one, if anything, he still struck out, if anything. And now Durkee is still looking for a hit. He's 0 for 3 today. And he takes that one high, so the count is 2-0. Durkee has Cowley on second base, so he could try to do more damage here as the Saints are leading 6-1. And the shortstop, Blake Fadul, is really close to second base because they know Cowley is very fast, so they may have a pickoff attempt here in this at-bat. And another pitch by Noah Walker that just cannot find the strike zone, as that one was either even higher and outside for ball 3. But it looks like they're just going to intentionally walk him and not even do another one. Either they're intentionally walking him and they don't have to throw that last pitch, or the count was wrong on the scoreboard. Whatever the case, Pete Durkee is now on first base. And coming up is the third baseman, Jason Gonzalez, who is 1 for 3 today.
And with that walk, it's not the worst thing in the world for the Riptide, because, you know, now you have the force play at third, and now you're in play for the double play ball if the ball is hit in the right position.
And that's definitely the reason why, if they intentionally walked him or if they weren't really worried that they did walk him on accident, it's still not the worst thing since they can get the double play more. And the Riptide do have another guy warming up. He's not throwing from the mound yet, so I don't think he's going to be put into the game this inning. He could be the next guy for next inning. And Jason Gonzalez is already down 0-2 after he swung right through that one and missed everything for strike 2. Noah Walker is hearing a few cheers and encouraging messages from his Riptide teammates in the dugout. And right there, another good off-speed pitch that the Saints are not even expecting, and another strikeout. And another one striking out looking, just like Garriola. Gonzalez is out. That's his third strikeout of the game, so he will definitely want to try and get a hit or at least an out that he hits the ball, because a lot of strikeouts is never good and pretty demoralizing to the morale.
And a great job by Noah Walker to just attack the zone on that 0-2 pitch.
And right there, Evan Russell hits a soft little chopper line drive, and both Solomon and Lipscomb at second and first go after it, but Lipscomb gets it right at the cut of the grass, and he throws it to Walker, and they get the third out of the inning. So now we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the Saints leading 6-1. You are watching Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back to Saints Baseball here on YouTube Live. Hayden Harris is still in the game as he is facing off against Connor Obi, who struck out in his first attempt. He came in as a late substitution, as we think Blake Evans got injured of some sort because he was needed to sub out, so they moved 3 people around, and then they put Obi in at right field. So 4 different guys changed positions. 3 were already in the game. And he takes a big swing at that one. Strike 1. He watched the first 2 pitches be called balls as they missed the strike zone. And they do have one guy warming up the bullpen. It is number 40, Drew Atherton, for the Saints. So Hayden Harris will not be going much longer. He's hoping to finish this inning, because then that would be 7 full innings, and no complaints about that for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Hayden Harris back out for his 7th inning of work, and I don't think this far during the CCL season I've seen a Saints starter go 7 full innings, so that would definitely be a first for me to see. But with somebody in the bullpen, the Saints are definitely keeping an eye on it.
And I mean, being that it is summer ball, it doesn't have to be that bad of a sign if you're not playing that much, because they want to get the other guys to play. You don't want to just have one guy always doing 5 innings or more. And a few times they brought in players who are starters in as relief pitchers just to get them to play, because they have so many starters that are on this team.
And just as you mentioned that, the guy in the bullpen, Drew Atherton, has made, I believe, 3 starts this far. So he's definitely been a starting pitcher that's going to appear to come out of the bullpen.
And now batting it is the shortstop, Blake Fadul. He's hoping to at least force an out by hitting the bat and hitting the ball. He has 2 strikeouts so far. Hayden Harris has done a very good job striking out the Riptide. As he fools Fadul right there on that off-speed pitch.
Yeah, Hayden Harris has definitely appeared to be in a groove these past few innings.
And right there, another wing in for the fences.
And that 0-2 pitch got Fedor looking. Ring him up, strike 3. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Hayden Harris to start this bottom of the 7th.
And that was a very good pitch right there. Another off-speed pitch that's just been fooling everyone that the Riptide have been putting up there. As he has 8 strikeouts so far in his 6 innings and 2/3. And there's strike 1 to Michael Peabody. A very good game for the whole Saints team. Probably a few batters hoping to get hits before this game ends, as that one by Peabody's grounded to Durkee over at first base, and he runs and tags first base, and that will end the inning. We finished the bottom of the 7th inning. Score is still 6-1 for the Arroyo Seco Saints. You are listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball.
That's
Welcome back here to Saints Baseball here on YouTube Live. I am Cole Stevens, and I am with Jack Steele. So we're about to start the top of the 8th inning with number 33, the catcher Thomas McCarthy, stepping up to the plate. He will be followed by center fielder Christian Scott and right fielder leadoff man Anthony Forte. And they're facing a new pitcher. It is right-hander Andrew Davis, who plays for Texas Tech University. He is 6'3", 205 pounds, and he's going to be a junior this upcoming year. As he throws that first pitch a little high and out of the strike zone for ball 1. And right there, McCarthy swings through that one. Sorry about that, Jack.
That's okay. Andrew Davis, the pitcher for the Riptide, making his 13th appearance. So I imagine this guy has come out of the bullpen a lot. Comes into the game with a 1-2 record. 1 hold. And has had 2 save opportunities, but no saves.
And then he has a 6.75 ERA. Not the best, so He'll want to lower that by having scoreless innings here. And he has 13 strikeouts to 11 walks, and he's given up 13 hits. But he's ahead in the count 1-2 to Thomas McCarthy, and he gets him to swing and miss on a high fastball right there. So Thomas McCarthy started 2-2 on the day, but he's been forced out the last 2 times, so he's 2 for 4 today. And now coming up is the center fielder, Christian Scott. Christian Scott plays at Tennessee. He didn't play that many games this last year. He was only a freshman. He played in 21 games, and he started 7 of them. He had a .321 average of 9 hits and 3 doubles. He only had 1 RBI, but he also had 9 walks and a .429 slugging percentage, so looks like he'll have a very bright future for the Tennessee Volunteers this upcoming fall and spring. And he swung at that first pitch and hit it into the netting, so he is down 0-1. As that pitch from Andrew Davis was a little wild, it bounced right at the plate and went right past his catcher, Connor Aoki. Count is 1-1. And the Saints, as we've mentioned, are still winning 6-1. They have 11 hits, and they have 2 errors so far today. And the Riptide have only 1 run. They have 5 hits and 2 errors as well. And right there, Christian Scott is fooled, and he is not too happy about himself that he was swinging at that off-speed pitch down in the dirt. He tapped his shoe with his bat and then just stared at the ground for a few seconds, as he knows that was not a pitch to even consider to swing at. Andrew Davis has him in a 1-2 count with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. And Christian Scott drives that one to right field, and it's gone. It is over the fence right by the scoreboard, and that is a home run for Christian Scott. The number 9 hitter had a deep drive right over the right field wall, and that is a huge hit for Christian Scott. We just mentioned how he didn't have any home runs in his freshman year at Tennessee, and that was his first home run of the California Collegiate League this summer, and it is his 7th RBI of the year, so a very big moment there for Christian Scott. Hopefully they're able to retrieve that ball and he can save it for keepsakes.
And what a hit there by Christian Scott. That ball just was totally driven and just seemed to keep carrying until that ball went over the fence. And just another run to tack on to the lead for the Saints.
And it wasn't a towering shot by any stretch of the imagination. It was more just a straight line drive that just kept going. The right fielder went up, and he was chasing after it, but he had no chance, and it was over the wall, and he didn't even try to field anything. And now batting, it's number 37, Nolan Tressler, so he's coming in for Anthony Forte as the leadoff hitter.
And on deck is Morgan Allen, who replaced Luvano at second base.
And he looks at that one for ball 2. Anthony Forte ends his day 1 for 3. He had a single and a run scored and also a walk. So not the best day, but still not the worst that you could have done. So a good day and a good chance to get more players in. Nolan Tressler has been one of their big players so far this summer. Nolan Tressler's played in 20 games. He has 18 hits, 12 runs scored, 14 singles, 3 doubles, 1 triple. No home runs yet, but he has 7 RBIs and a .265 average. He's had 18 strikeouts, which is a little high, but he has 7 walks. So he has the ability to have a good eye and a good plate discipline, but still can have a tendency to strike out, just like right there. So second out is a strikeout from Nolan Tressler as he strikes out swinging. And now batting, it's Morgan Allen. He'll be going in for Thomas Luvano.
Number 20, Morgan Allen.
And Luvano had an RBI earlier today. He had a single that drove in, I think it was Thomas McCarthy. Yeah, he drove in Thomas McCarthy. And Luvana will end the day 2 for 4. He has 2 singles, 2 runs, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout, and 1 ground out.
And Morgan Allen entering his 11th game thus far in the CCL. Has been a pretty good contributor for the Saints, hitting .316 with 11 base hits, 1 triple, and 3 RBIs.
And we have a helicopter roaming overhead, so if you hear the hovering of blades, it's just a helicopter that's just staying in our area. As Morgan Allen hits that over Lipscomb, the second baseman, and it's into right center field, and the right fielder, Connor Obie, will pick it up and throw it into the cutoff man. And Morgan Allen, he's had actually struggled a few times with injuries. He's been out for different injuries, I think 2 separate occasions, so that's the only thing that's really hindered him so far in summer ball. And now batting, it's the shortstop, Drew Cowley, who's basically been the hero of the game. He has 3 hits, a single, a double, and a triple, and he has a ground out to the second baseman. He has 4 RBIs and 1 run, so he gets a home run. Not only is that 2 in the game and 2 in this inning, but it's also a cycle. So you got to be wondering if he's just wanting to get on base, or if he is thinking, you know what, we're winning by 6 runs. Let me try and have a few big hits.
And I wonder if he's even thinking that he's a home run away from the cycle.
Yeah, sometimes the players are very tuned in and they don't even really think of it or even recognize how good they're doing in terms of actual statistics. They'll know they're getting on base, but they may not know the whole specifics of it, as Cowley was fooled on that off-speed pitch, so he has a check swing called for a strike, so the count's 1-1. And right there he has a slow, soft dribbler that he fouls off. Behind the plate, more on the OC Riptide side, to the left of him in the left-handed batter's box. And if we're able to get another runner on for the Saints, Andy Garriola will be up as he's on deck, but Drew Cowley swings at that one and misses over top, so he strikes out to end the top of the 8th inning. They do get 1 run on a big solo home run by Christian Scott, his first as a Saint. And we will be heading to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Irvine at Great Park. And you are listening to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back here watching YouTube Live as Saints baseball. Arroyo Seco Saints are playing here in Irvine at Great Park against the Orange County Riptide. Score is 7-1. Arroyo Seco Saints is leading. And now at the pitcher's mound is number 40, right-hander Drew Atherton. As Hayden Harris is finally done for the day. He won 7 innings. He gave up 5 hits, only 1 run. It was an earned run. Actually, it was an unearned run as it went off the air from Evan Russell early in the game. And right there, Drew Atherton gets Connor. Nope. It's a pinch hitter, number 25. So that is for Connor Aoki. That was Eric Pagani, who is now going to be the catcher, and he grounded out to Morgan Allen, who's now the new second baseman. But so Hayden Harris is 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 0 earned runs, and he walked none, and he had 9 strikeouts, so a very good performance today by the lefty. As now up it is the DH Dylan Rock, who is 1 for 3 today. He reached on a error by the shortstop Drew Cowley, and he also has a single. Atherton's ready with the 0-1 pitch. And it's an off-speed pitch, but it does not fool Dylan Rock at all.
And Atherton, entering his 5th game, coming in with an 0-1 record, has pitched 8 2/3 with a 9.35 ERA.
And right there, Atherton has a very good off-speed pitch, look kind of like a slider that is called for strike 2 against Dylan Rock. And we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Saints are leading 7-1. They have scored in the 1st inning, and then they scored 5 runs in the 5th inning, and they got a home run, so 1 run last half inning in the top of the 8th. And the OC Riptide have actually only scored in the bottom of the 1st. So that is all the scoring so far, as Rock has to take a little timeout right there. Atherton might have been taking too long. Sometimes the hitters do not like it when the pitcher does not get through his motion quick enough. And right there, he got him. He fooled him, and he had a check swing, and he went around home plate, enough so that the home plate umpire didn't even have to judge down to the first base umpire. He just knew, and he could tell.
And that was a great breaking ball there from Atherton. Atherton, before coming into this game, has mostly been a starter for the Saints this season, but coming in as a reliever today, he looks sharp thus far.
And he's only had to face 2 guys. You got to wonder if he's doing the last 2 innings since he has starter potential. The Saints have no one else warming up the bullpen, so it could be Atherton's game for the last 2 innings as he's facing Andre Anton, who watched ball 1 go low out of the strike zone, and he fouls that one off onto, or I think it actually went over the big building that has all the press boxes and the announcing booth upstairs. Here's the pitch from Atherton. Oh, and it was a little low. It's 2-1, but it was a very good pitch right there where it's in enough of the zone where you could get the person to chase at that low pitch.
As a pitcher, it's all about making it look like it's a strike to the hitter.
And right there, that one was even lower. So, I mean, he got him to change his eye level where he was looking low anyways because of the previous pitch. And that one gets Anton to swing over top of that off-speed pitch that was down and in. So the count is 2-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Saints leading 7-1. And that one's fouled off. Very hard foul ball by Anton into the netting over closer to the Saints dugout here on the right side of the field. Atherton is ready. And right there, Anton grounds it to Jason Gonzalez at third base. He drops it for a second, and he picks it up and throws it, but it is over the head of Pete Durkee. And so it's going to be an error. It was probably going to be an error when he bobbled it that one time. But so he throws it over Durkee's head, and Anton will be safe reaching on the air. Only one error will be given to Gonzalez, as that was just a tough ball. That was a very hard hit ground ball. He fielded it, but then he bobbled it out of his glove, and he just tried to rush it because Anton was halfway there to first base, and he threw it just a little too high for Durkee. And now batting it is second baseman Trey Lipscomb. He started at third base, but they had mass substitutions where 3 guys changed positions, and Connor Obi subbed into the game from the bench. As the second baseman, the original second baseman, Blake Evans, was subbed out in the 3rd or 4th inning. And Lipscomb fouls that one off very close to us. It actually hits the protective top level barrier. That's like the awning for this great facility here at Great Park in Irvine. Count is 0-2 with 2 outs.
And Atherton able to get ahead here with an 0-2 count with some flexibility with pitches. And that's a swing and a miss. And Atherton able to get the final out of the inning.
And that was a very good pitch right there, an off-speed pitch down in the dirt that got Lipscomb to chase. So Atherton's able to strike out two of the guys this inning, and that will end the bottom of the 8th inning. We're going to the top of the 9th inning. Saints lead 8-1 here in Irvine at Great Park. You are watching Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. Welcome back to YouTube Live with the live broadcast of Saints Baseball. The Arroyo Seco Saints are up 7-1 here as we start the top of the 9th inning with DH Andy Garriola up at the plate. Not one of his better days. He has 2 strikeouts and a double play he's grounded into. He's 0 for 3, but then he does have a sac fly, so he has 1 RBI, but no hits registered so far. And they are still facing right-hander Andrew Davis from Texas Tech University. And Garriola watches ball 2 right there, so Davis not starting off the strongest here in the top of the 9th inning, as he probably just wants to finish this inning, and hopefully his guys can get 6 runs or at least get men on base to make it look closer than it is, because you never want to just end the game with a 6-run loss.
Yeah, if you're pitching in a game where your team is down 7-1, you're in the top of the 9th, you don't want to give up any more runs than what's already been given up thus far in the game. So you just want to go in there and do your job, get your outs, and get your team up to the plate.
Here's the pitch, and whoa, that one's so high that not even the catcher, Eric Pagani, is able to reach up and go after that. Pagani pinch hit last inning for Connor Aoki. He grounded out to the second baseman. But the count is now 3-1 for Andy Garriola as he faces Andrew Davis. And Garriola is ready, and Davis throws the pitch. And Garriola has a nice hard line drive that one hops right in front of right fielder Connor Obi. So Garriola gets his first hit. I think we just talked about it so much that it was bound to happen.
And honestly, I mean, even if Garriola is 0 for 3, I wouldn't doubt that he wouldn't have an opportunity or a chance to get a base hit because, I mean, he's been doing it all summer for the Saints. I mean, one of the best hitters the Saints have had this season, so not surprised.
One of the superstars.
Yeah.
Basically what he's trying to say.
Basically.
And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change, so we're going to take a short timeout, and then we'll come back and tell you who this new pitcher is. You're listening to Saints Baseball, watching Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And we are back here at Great Park in Irvine. Michael DiFilippi is now the pitcher. As he throws a ball 1 to first baseman Pete Durkee, who is 0 for 3 today with a walk. And right there, Durkee hits a line drive into center field, but it is caught by Michael Peabody. Very little movement he had to do right there for the first out of the inning.
No, excuse me. And that was a hard hit ball by Durkee. Made good contact with that ball, just unable to find the right spot in the outfield as it goes directly to the center fielder. But a well hit ball there from Durkee.
Now batting it is third baseman Jason Gonzalez, who is 1 for 4 today, but he has 3 strikeouts in his last 3 plate appearances, so not something he wants to remember. He's hoping to probably get a hit right here. And the former pitcher, Andrew Davis, he is now done for the game. He went 1 inning and 1/3. Or 1 inning and 1 inning completely, and he had 4 hits that he gave up, 1 run, and it was an earned run. It was on the home run from Christian Scott. He had no walks, and he had 3 strikeouts. As Jason Gonzalez is ahead of the count 2-0 with 1 out, and he also has Andy Garriola on first base as Gonzalez takes that pitch outside. So it's 3-0. And it looks like the regular starters are still in the on-deck circle, so probably not any more substitutions. They've only had 2 so far in this game.
And I would imagine Drew Atherton will be out there for the bottom of the 9th for the Saints, as no one is in the bullpen.
Right there, Gonzalez has a line drive right over the second baseman into right center field. Gonzalez fakes like he's going to second base, but he'll stay at first. And Andy Garriola gets all the way to third base. So Gonzalez gets his second single of the day. Nice piece of hitting right there. And now batting it will be the left fielder, Evan Russell, who is 1 for 3 today. He also has a walk, but he has a single. And then he has 2 groundouts. One was a double play, and one was a ground out to the second baseman who threw to the first base on a wacky play where it was a slowly hit ground ball right in between the second baseman and first baseman, and the second baseman had to field it and throw it to the pitcher covering first. As Evan Russell fouls that one off over the Riptide dugout. And right there's another ball as DeFilippi is struggling with finding the strike zone. And the Saints have runners on the corner. Jason Gonzalez is stealing from first base, but there's going to be no throw from Eric Pagani as Evan Russell swung at that pitch but missed, so the count is 1-2 with 1 out. We're here in the top of the 9th inning. The score is 7-1 for the Arroyo Seco Saints.
And that's a good idea for the Saints for Gonzalez to take that base.
And right there, Evan Russell hits one right past the third baseman, Andre Anton, and he's going to second base, and he gets a stand-up double. And he drives in both Jason Gonzalez and Andy Garriola to extend the lead. And now batting it is the second baseman, Thomas McCarthy, or the catcher, Thomas McCarthy. Now it was a very good 2-run double right there for Evan Russell. And Anton tried to reach for it, but it was just barely out of his reach at third base. Here's the 1-0 pitch to McCarthy. And it's low for ball 2.
And the Saints just continue to beat down this Riptide pitching staff as they're able to tack on 2 more runs here in the top of the 9th. And this is an important game for the Saints, falling 1 game back of that playoff spot, currently ranked 4th in the standings of the CCL. So, and while the Riptide are in that 2nd position of the CCL, so definitely with only a limited number of games left, you want to get as many wins as you can.
Yeah, this is a very crucial game for the Saints, as McCarthy takes the first strike right there. The count is 3-1.
And I would think McCarthy's looking for something to hit.
And right there, he takes a ball high and inside, so he's on base again. He is now 2 for 4. Still has 2 singles, a fly out, and a strikeout, and now he has his first walk of the game. And now batting at center fielder Christian Scott, who in his last at-bat in the top of the 8th inning hit a home run. Hit a home run to right field, his first as a Saint, and right there he hits a line drive right over the second baseman Lipscomb. And coming home is Evan Russell, and there's another run scored for the Saints. hopefully they don't need some of these runs for their game tomorrow, but right now it's looking really good to score more runs.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Scott, he's got to be feeling it after that home run. First pitch swinging, I believe, and drills one into right field for a base hit. So Christian Scott, he's got to be feeling good.
And that was like the same kind of swing he had with his home run that he hit over right field. This time it was a smaller line drive that went over Lipscomb at second base into right field. Now batting, it's the right fielder Nolan Tressler. He struck out his first at bat as he was a pinch hitter replacement for the starter Anthony Forte as he takes a ball one right there. So after these 3 runs here in the top of the 9th inning, the Saints are up 10-1 here in the top of the 9th with only 1 out. As Tressler fouls that one over the left side of the stadium, out of the stadium. Here's the pitch from DeFilippi. And it's an off-speed pitch low and not enough to fool Tressler, so he keeps the bat on his shoulder. Count is now 2-1. We have another intern by us, and she's trying to make us giggle. It worked to Jack, but I am like a rock. I do not make any emotional noises during a broadcast. And the count is now 3-1 to Nolan Tressler. But our other intern who's next to us is Rebecca Williamson. She just loves listening to the broadcast and loves listening to broadcast when she's watching a sporting event. So she just likes to hang out here and take some photos for Instagram or Twitter or whichever one of the social medias that she is running for the day. She's now recording us because why wouldn't you be? It's a great feeling to be with some famous people in the Arroyo Seco intern.
Oh, absolutely. And me and Cole are one of the more famous people of the intern group.
As we both are, as you say in the business, famous.
Yes. But do check out our Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram, people. Arroyo Seco Baseball.
Oh, I thought you were going to plug your own Instagram, but
No.
you don't have to. But if you really wanted to,
I could, but
you could say whatever you want, and then everyone will hear it every time they watch this game.
so I'm not going to do that. But go follow our Instagram for the baseball.
Yes.
Arroyo Seco.
Yes, for Arroyo Seco Baseball. And now up it is Morgan Allen, who took that first pitch as a ball. Count is 1-0 here in the top of the 9th inning. The bases are loaded, and the Saints don't need these runs, but it's a 10-1 game, and they only have 1 out, and they'll take more runs. And this one's going right over our heads, but too far for us to catch and reach as it is over in the planter with all these plants and shrubs that are right next to us, right behind the Saints dugout and bullpen. So that is going to be called a strike. Foul ball right there from Morgan Allen. And he has another foul ball, this one directly straight back into the netting, so a little bit underneath that ball. Good contact, but just underneath it that it went right into the netting instead of staying fair. And DeFilippi is ready with the pitch. And that actually looked like a really good pitch in my eyes. I thought that was strike 3, but it's ball 2. What do you think, Jack?
I agree. That was a good pitch. Definitely on a 1-2 count.
You would have swung.
I don't know if I can make that assertion. But
Oh, and that one, very dangerous foul ball where Morgan Allen sliced it, and it almost was close enough to hit his shortstop, Drew Cowley, but it was probably another 5 feet away from him to his left. Kind of still 2-2. Were you a fielder or were you a pitcher like your brother?
no, I was a fielder back in my Little League days.
Let's not be modest. You probably made it to AAA.
No, I only played until 8th grade. So
That could be like the majors or like the...
yeah, it was the majors of 8th grade.
Yep, that's what they call it. Majors of 8th grade.
Yeah. But I played some second base, played some first base in my days, so
What was your favorite position?
toss up between second and first.
Those are your only two positions. Of course, it's a toss-up.
Well,
And Lipscomb fields it right there, and Morgan Allen is safe. Daniel Jung thought it was a double play right there, but so they get one out, and Allen's able to drive in one of the runs. My favorite positions when I was playing, also Little League status. I only played till I was, how old was I? I only played till I was in third grade, but I really liked the outfield positions and then short and third base. I only played first base one time, and I was super scared to start the warm-ups because I just didn't really like the idea of the ball always coming to me so fast and so high. I liked fielding it when it was on the ground, but other than that, and right there, that is a deep, deep drive, but it's just warning track power for Drew Cowley. The whole Saints dugout got excited thinking that was going to be the cycle, but it's just warning track power for the shortstop from Cal Poly Pomona, and that will end the inning after that deep drive to the center fielder.
and it's obvious that everybody knew Drew Cowley just needed a home run to get the cycle, and that was very close. That ball was at the warning track.
And that's always good when your teammates are involved in caring for it just like you are. So very good attempt right there. And we will be heading for a little break here as we're about to have the bottom of the ninth inning. You are watching Saints Baseball on YouTube Live, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball. And welcome back here to Saints Baseball on YouTube Live. Saints are leading 11-1 after those 4 runs in the top of the ninth inning. Now it's going to be the first plate appearance for new first baseman Daniel Jung. He was a defensive sub last half inning. And he takes that first pitch for a ball. Count is 1-0. Drew Atherton is still on the mound. He started in the bottom of the 8th inning, so he's hoping to have 2 innings right here, as Jung has a high foul ball over by the left fielder. And a sliding catch right there by
Evan Russell, I believe.
Evan Russell with the sliding catch on his knees. That is amazing. You would think these guys would be mailing it in. They're up 11-1. That was full out effort right there. He was running from mid left field, and he just chased that one down with a nice sliding catch. What a play.
Great effort there from Evan Russell. I mean, and that's a quick out here to start this bottom of the ninth inning.
As you were talking about earlier, 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's another one. And the Riptide hitters have not been helping themselves. They've not been taking pitches. They've not been watching everything, seeing what they have that they have to face. So it's been very easy for the Saints because they're not throwing as many pitches. And now up it is the left fielder Antonio Cruz. He tried to make a sliding catch like that in the 5th inning, but he missed, and it went past him, and Drew Cowley was able to get a triple out of it and drive in 3 runs to have a bases loaded clearing triple, as Cruz takes strike 2 right there. The count is 0-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And a good job by Atherton attacking the zone, able to get ahead of this hitter with an 0-2 count.
And right there, a little low for Atherton, low and outside, so not much of a swing and miss pitch right there, as Cruz was not fooled.
But even with this 1-2 count, Atherton has some flexibility with his pitches.
And right there, he definitely went, and the first base umpire agreed with them. And right there, Atherton gets another strikeout, so a great 2 innings so far for Atherton. He only has one more batter left. And now batting, it looks like it's going to be the right fielder, Connor Obie. Nope, it looks like it's a new hitter. It is number 7, Chad Crosby, who plays for the University of Miami.
So the Riptide trying to give some other players some action here. Maybe trying to get some new life. Down by 10 runs.
And right there, Crosby fouls it over on the left side of the stadium. Might have been out of the stadium. But we always try to just hear for a clink off the top of the awning or the roof of the building. And right there, he takes strike 2. Another good off-speed pitch from Atherton. And you mentioned this when he first came into the game. He struggled a little bit as a starter, but this relief appearance has been very good for Atherton.
Yeah, he definitely looks sharp. And that breaking ball definitely looks good. He's one pitch away from getting this out.
And right there, another off-speed pitch, and he gets him to strike out swinging. And McCarthy says a little nice things and shakes the hand of the home plate umpire, and that will end the game here. And what a game it was for the Arroyo Seco Saints as they win this game 11-1. They score a run in the first inning. They score 5 runs in the top of the 5th inning. They score 1 run in the top of the 8th inning, and then 4 runs tacked on in the top of the 9th inning to have 11 runs off 17 hits and 3 errors. And the Riptide only had 1 run. It was in the bottom of the first inning, and they had 5 hits and 2 errors. All right, Jack, who do you think should be the player of the game? We have probably 2 choices.
Yeah, I think I know.
And I know you know which ones I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think I do. Well, definitely on the offensive side for the Saints, it's got to be Drew Cowley.
Are you doing 2? You're doing 2 players. Of the game,
I think there deserves to be 2 players of the game.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But because it's really a toss-up for me between the 2.
And it should be considered both of them got the award, as both of them did amazing.
Yeah. But first off, Drew Cowley, I mean, a home run away from
The cycle.
I mean, that triple that he had, the 3-run triple that he had, really opened the game up for the Saints, blew it up, and, I mean, the runs just came coming after that. So I think Drew Cowley is definitely deserving. And, I mean, on the defensive side, I mean, the starter, Hayden Harris, coming in, pitching 7 innings, giving up 1 run.
Yeah, 1 run, not even earned run, because it was off the air from Evan Russell, and he had 5 hits, and he had no walks. No walks, and he struck out 9 batters. So, I mean, that is it. That's definitely why we have 2 players of the games today for this 11-1 victory. And it's good to beat the team that's in second place, because then you gain a game, and they lose 1 game, and now you just have to keep winning, keep advancing, trying to get up to that 3rd position or even higher. So first place, it's kind of tough, but get at least into 3rd place here in the playoffs. So that will do it for us here at Great Park in Irvine. For Jack Steele, I am Cole Stevens. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the game and our dueling play-by-play broadcast. Hopefully you knew who was the better one. I'm kidding. We both did a great job. We're just having fun. It was our second time working together, and better than the first time. We had more chemistry, so a very good time for both of us, and we enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. And make sure you can check into the game tomorrow as I will be broadcasting. I do not know what Jack Steele will be working. What will you be working tomorrow?
I think I'm broadcasting tomorrow.
Okay, well, you'll have both of us. You'll get to listen to both of us banter and talk to each other again like we did today. So, for the Arroyo Seco Saints and for all the other interns, I was with Jack Steele. I am Cole Stevens. Thank you for listening. This is YouTube Baseball, the home of Arroyo Seco Baseball.